2022-1101 is the beginning, rescinding resolution 2022-0301, utilizing $2 million of funding from Hawkins County's ARPA grant as an investment in the new CTE facility at Phipps Bend. So is there any questions about, it looks like that one's paired together with 2022-1102, which then reallocates that $2 million over to an expansion of the CTE programs. We can go ahead and have a conversation about that if you like. Anybody have any questions?
Dr. Brandon Williams is here.
Hey,
Consider maintenance of effort on this $2 million.
Dr. Williams, do you care to share? Well, first off, I guess, share the plan for moving forward for reallocating that money. If you'd like to come forward and talk to us about that. And in terms of maintenance of effort, I would not think it would fall under maintenance of effort.
We need to make sure on that.
Yes, sir.
I can't answer that. Eric says no. Yeah, so back in March, the commission agreed to commit $2 million of the ARPA funds to match the $2 million that the Board of Education committed to a central CTE facility in Phipps Bend. We are still pursuing that project, but the reality is we did not receive some funding direct from the state that we hoped we would. So we're behind in terms of being able to complete that. The finish line for reaching the total number is in the distant future. So what we do have available at the moment is an Innovative Schools Fund grant that will allow us to expand CTE programming. And so what we've asked is that the Board of Education redirect those $2 million that they committed to allow us to construct additions at each of the 3 facilities, Cherokee, Clinch, and Volunteer. We're asking now that the County Commission do the same with that $2 million, allow us to redirect it. So I've described it like this. If the central CTE facility is Plan A, this is not Plan B so much as it is like a Plan A minus, because it accomplishes almost everything we were hoping to accomplish with the central facility. It's just in 3 separate locations. One thing that I want to point out that it accomplishes or will accomplish that's extremely exciting is the expansion that we will be able to do at Clinch High School. So that facility in its remote location is small size, small class sizes. It makes it difficult for us to offer the same CTE programming to those students as it does, or as we can to Cherokee and Volunteer students, just based on the economy of scale. With this funding, if the commission were to approve to allow us the flexibility to use these $2 million for this project as well, we'll be able to add a shop over there and pick up at least 5 programs. Engineering, electromechanical, machine tool, welding, industrial maintenance, and I think there's actually even another one. I'm drawing a blank on that. I apologize, but that's extremely exciting to be able to offer that many new programs to students at Clinch. That just tremendously, it gives them a lot more opportunity than they've had previously. The other really exciting thing about that is right now, if a student at Clinch wants to be a dual enrollment student in welding, for instance, they have to travel every day across the mountain to Phipps Bend at TCAP. That's a huge burden for a lot of our students, just the transportation costs, being able to provide a vehicle and the fuel money. Once this addition is completed and we have the staff in place, we'll work with TCAP to actually offer that dual enrollment on campus at Clinch. Those students won't have to leave at all. They'll be there all day, just like a regular high school student, but they'll be earning hours towards their TCAP certificate while they're there at school. Similar things at Cherokee and Volunteer, not quite the same scale, single program additions at Cherokee and Volunteer. As it stands right now, if we had to make the decision today, we would pick up a welding program at Cherokee and a machine tool program at Volunteer. That's subject to change. We have to make those decisions based on labor market data. There's a whole process we have to go through with federally funded school programs, but that's where we are as of right now. So any questions over what we're asking to do? It's essentially the same goals, just at different locations as opposed to the one site.
You said that the CTE program that it's been will be in the future plans.
Yeah, we're still gonna work on that. We were hopeful to get a large investment directly in the governor's budget last year, and that didn't pan out. We're gonna continue to pursue it. Realistically though, that's a $15 million plus project. And you know, with the way the economy is today and supply chains, in 2 to 3 years, that number may be 20 million or even greater. So that, while it's still a serious goal we have, and we're going to continue to work on it, this money is on the table now and we can take advantage of it. If the commission approves this on Monday, we'll be ready to put a shovel in the ground, hopefully as early as August of next fall, and get this. I didn't mention, but Clinch would be prioritized as project number 1, get that one completed because we get the most bang for our buck over there. And then from there, spread to Cherokee and Volunteer with those additions at that facility as well. One thing that we didn't mention is the whole reason we started looking at that central facility idea in general is we want to continue to expand our programs and offer more and more to our students. The reality is we're out of space at Cherokee and Volunteer. We just don't have any more square footage to do it.
So, if you, with offering, I guess, welding at Cherokee, and you said industrial maintenance at Volunteer.
Machine tool.
Can students matriculate throughout the schools? If something's offered at one school that's not offered at theirs, can they go back and forth, or how would that work?
Well, so what that would accomplish essentially would be leveling the playing field, having equal opportunities at each facility. In the past, I think that we have bused students from Clinch to Cherokee. You know as well as I do, that gets real tricky with school schedules, because that means at that point, Clinch's schedule has to match up with Cherokee's schedule, which is almost never going to happen. If Cherokee's having a pep rally and Clinch is not, that's a big mess. There's also the seat time that those students lose in transit. As far as that goes, this particular plan is actually slightly better than the central facility because there's no loss of class time to transportation.
Any other questions? Well, let's take 2022 1101 first, and then we'll move on to 02. Do I hear a motion to move that forward to the full commission? Motion has been made to send that resolution on to the full commission. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries. So the next resolution then, after rescinding that money, now reallocates that money to the expansion of the CTE programs at the various high schools at Clinch, Cherokee, and Volunteer. So is there a motion to move that resolution forward? Motion. Commissioner Palmer has made the motion to move the resolution forward. Commissioner Gillum seconded the motion. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries.